Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Semajical Reviews, the 30th as a matter of fact. Now before I begin, there's going to be a content warning in this part of the video, because some of the titles may contain some language. So without further ado, let's get into the review of South Park Season 1, which first aired on Comedy Central in the US between 1997 and 1998. 13 episodes are what you get treated to when you watch this season, and it was all made with construction paper animation. So now we're going to go through the 13 episodes that make up the season, and I'm going to give you short reviews of each one. So, in Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, aliens abduct Kyle's baby brother Ike, and Cartman has strange things implanted in his backside. And what this culminates in, to get Ike back from the aliens, is Cartman being tied to a tree and a satellite dish coming out of his backside and summoning the aliens. For a first episode in a series ever, it's okay. It's a fine way to start a new series. But it's not superb. Okay, in Weight Gain 4000, Cartman wins an environmental essay contest and has to get himself in shape for the big day. He does this by eating weight gain powder, which then gets him so horribly out of shape. In fact, he gains about 700 pounds from eating the stuff. It's a good second episode, and it's one of my personal favourites from this season. I used to actually pretend a turkey burger and a sandwich was Weight Gain 4000, when actually it was just a turkey burger and a sandwich. So, okay, in Volcano, the boys go on a hunting trip with Stan's Uncle Jimbo and his Vietnam friend Ned. And while they're doing this, a volcano erupts, and they encounter a cryptid known as Scuzzlebutt. Pretty straightforward plot, wouldn't you say? In Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride, Stan learns that his dog Sparky is gay and casts him out because he doesn't want a gay dog. So this is where Big Gay Al comes into play. He takes Sparky in, and while this is going on, there's a homecoming football game at South Park Elementary against their neighbouring town, Middle Park. Stan's the star quarterback of their team, and he's off trying to get his dog back. And it teaches the important lesson that just because someone's gay doesn't mean you should shun them. Now, this show was made in a decade at first which wasn't very kind to the LGBT community. And if any of you guys are part of that community, I'm happy for you. I really am. I have nothing against you all. Moving on to my opinion of the episode. It's another one of my personal favourites, I have to say. So yeah, Volcano is not one of my personal favourites. Sorry, it is still a good episode. In An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig, or as they say in the interview before the episode begins, an elephant F's a pig. Okay. The boys tried to crossbreed Cartman's pot-bellied pig with Kyle's elephant. No, I'm not joking. Kyle has a pet elephant in this episode. Where does he get the pet elephant? Mail order from Africa, and it took 4 to 6 weeks to get there. But you'd be forgiven for thinking Kyle's saying 46 weeks because of how fast he says it. So, I originally thought that's what he was saying myself. And this is their first use of the word retarded to mean disabled. Luckily, I was 10 when I saw the episode, and I had no idea that's what they were saying. I just thought they said returner. So, by the way, guys, the word retarded does not mean disabled. It means stupid and idiotic. Enough about that now. It's still a fine episode, and not one of my personal favourites. In death, Stan's 102-year-old grandpa, this is him turning 102, he wants to die because he feels like he's too old to live anymore. And so he tries everything he can to make Stan kill him. But at first Stan won't budge with his answer of saying no, which is a good thing because you shouldn't kill anyone even if they want you to. It's wrong, and everyone Stan asks refuses to touch it with a barge pole, 20 feet, 40 feet, or 60 feet. And for good and obvious reasons. But they do summon the Grim Reaper, but he comes after... Spoilers. I'm not going to go any further. We'll discuss Kenny's deaths in the season at the end of the video. So, moving on now to the show's first ever Halloween special, Pink Eye. This one is about a zombie epidemic hitting the town of South Park, and this is all started when Kenny is flattened by the Mir space station, which comes crashing down to Earth in South Park, and him being revived at the morgue as a zombie after having Worcestershire sauce drained into his body instead of embalming fluid. This turns everyone in the town, after Kenny, into brain-eating zombies. Yes, brain-eating zombies. This is what every piece of zombie media seems to get wrong for some reason. Zombies don't go after brains, they go after human flesh. So, yeah, there you go. But for a Halloween episode, and a good episode at that, it's still a great one. It's worth a watch. Not one of my personal favourites, though. So, okay. In Starving Marvin, which is the show's first Thanksgiving special and only one for and only one for a few years, the boys accidentally adopt a starving African kid named Starving Marvin from Ethiopia instead of a sports watch. And this is all because they use the language of wanting to adopt a kid over the phone when trying to get their hands on a watch, when all they're supposed to do to get the watch is pledge $5 a month to sponsor a starving African child. And over the Thanksgiving holiday, where they're trying to teach him the customs of the country and the culture, from one holiday to another, the first ever... Okay, sorry, it's not one of my personal favourite episodes, but it's still a good one. From one holiday special to another, this one's their first Christmas special, Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo. This has to do with Carl being visited by a talking lump of turd at Christmas time because he's Jewish, so he can't join in with the Christmas festivities. And because he seems to be the only one who can see Mr. Hanky during the whole episode, the boys commit him to an asylum because he's appearing as a mental case. Sorry, but that is what he's appearing as in this episode. Until Mr. Hanky makes himself known to the rest of the town and gets Kyle freed. And this is Mr. Hanky's first appearance. It's also the first appearance of Mr. Mackey, the school counsellor. So... and one of my personal favourite episodes from the season. Moving on to the next episode, Damien, it is what it sounds like, the son of Satan arrives at South Park Elementary, and straight away the boys outcast him for being different. And Cartman's birthday is coming up, and it is upstaged by the ultimate battle between good and evil, because this is the first time we see Satan in the series as well. This episode did spark some controversy for being too sacrilegious and blasphemous for having Jesus and Satan in it. But let's back it up here a moment. Let's back it up. Jesus, at this point, had already appeared in the show. And it didn't spark controversy then, so why would it here? So... loosen up, people. Take a chill pill. If you're religious nutcases, don't watch. Okay. Another one of my personal favourites of the season, this one. And the favourite scene is Cartman's tantrum over getting the wrong gift from Kyle, which makes him end the party early. Chill, dude, chill. A gift is a gift. So... moving on to the episode after this, which is a Valentine special, Tom's Rhinoplasty. In this episode, Mr. Garrison goes to get a nose job, which is called a rhinoplasty for those who don't know. And a substitute teacher comes to take over the class while he's absent. Miss Ellen, played by Natasha Henstridge of Species fame. And she's actually billed in the episode as the chick from Species. Oh, what good billing. Of course, as the episode unfolds, Wendy grows increasingly jealous of the closeness between the teacher and Stan. It's just a friendship, nothing more, obviously. So... And in the end, it turns out that the teacher was an Iraqi criminal fugitive. I never thought I'd hear those words come out of my mouth. Okay, moving on now to the penultimate episode of this season, Mecha Streisand. Wow, in this episode, during a field trip, it's actually Cartman who finds it but chucks it away, so Kyle is credited for finding an ancient runic triangle during an archaeological dig. And it turns out to be one part of the Diamond of Zimfar, so Barbra Streisand comes to try and claim it back. But this doesn't go down without a fight. She does eventually end up claiming it back, but only after kidnapping the boys. Yes. Who would ever think that a show like South Park, not for kids, would be teaching kids one of the lessons that parents try to teach them? Never get into a car with a stranger. I'm not going to add that. I'm not going to add it because it will spoil a later season. Okay. Okay. Because they do, and once she joins the two triangles, she becomes a giant mechanized kaiju monster. So they have to call in help from, and I'm not kidding, Leonard Moulton, Robert Smith of The Cure, and Sidney Poitier, who also have the ability to turn into kaiju monsters. What are the odds? Okay. And I wonder if any of these celebrities were flattered by their depictions on the show. Because I actually forgot to mention in Weight Game 4000 that Kathy Lee Gifford comes to South Park to present Cartman with his award. I should have mentioned that then. So we now enter the season finale. Cartman's mum is a dirty S-word. Okay. In this episode, Cartman tries to find out where he came from. He tries to learn who his father is, but to no avail. After hearing many different stories from men around the town about who his father might be. And this is after hearing from his mum who his father definitely is. He goes to a Native American reservation to talk to the man, Chief Running Water, to learn that he's not the son of a Native American. Then he goes to Chef and learns that Chef's not his dad. Then he goes to Mr. Garrison, who actually advises him that he'll never know who his real father is. the first time he's actually given any character meaningful advice on the show, because the advice he gives Stan in the 4th episode of the season is not the right advice. Saying gay people are evil, but they're not. He's gay himself, and he's in the closet about it at this point. So... So, back to the episode at hand. They do eventually win money to DNA test Cartman with all the men in town. From being runners-up on America's Stupidest Home Videos, which is a parody of America's Funniest Home Videos. And yes, a parody of Bob Saget, the host of that show, appears in the episode. Now, it is a good episode, and it's a brilliant way to cap off a first season. It's a cliffhanger. I forgot to say my opinion of Mecha Streisand. It is a good time, but not one of my personal favourites. And for Tom's Rhinoplasty, a good time also, but not one of my personal favourites. This first part of the cliffhanger is one of my personal favourites. And now, as I promised, let's talk about Kenny's deaths in this season. So, okay, in Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, Kenny dies by being beamed out into the road by aliens, trampled by cows, and is finally done in by the police car. He survives the first 2 attempts on his life. In Weight Gain 4000, he dies by getting shot and impaled on a flagpole. In Volcano, we first think he's going to die by getting hit by a molten lava ball from a volcano. But that doesn't do him in. What does him in is Ned dropping his gun at the end of the episode. Shooting him in the chest, I think it was. Okay. In Big Gay L's Big Gay Boat Ride, he gets trampled during the football game. And manhandled by players on the other team. The American football game, that is. In An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig, he gets thrown into a microwave by Stan's evil clone and cooked. In Death, well, he just gets slain by the Grim Reaper. He gets his soul taken. In Pink Eye, as I already said actually, he gets flattened by the Mir space station. Then he gets, as a zombie, he gets sawn in half with a chainsaw. And then finally, after rising from his grave, he gets crushed by another grave, like another headstone, and crashed into by an aeroplane. So he dies 3 times in that episode. The poor bastard. Okay. In Starving Marvin, he gets his eye gouged out by a turkey. Stop laughing because these are funny gags. Well, he doesn't die at all in Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo, but he does come close to it 3 times. The first time with a shark in a tank under a ladder. The second time pulling a plug out of a wall with water around it. You don't do that. And the third time with a candle held close to his chest. It could have set him on fire. and he escapes it all 3 times, so we don't count that. In Damien, he gets shot at the arena during the boxing match between Jesus and Satan, after Jimbo spots him as a duck-billed platypus. Okay. In Tom's Rhinoplasty, he gets a knife thrown in his face by the substitute teacher as she's being arrested. In Mecha Streisand, he just gets strangled by a tetherball. What a way to go out. A very lackluster one compared to the other ones I've just said. And in the season finale, he gets run over by a train, which also gets videotaped. Okay. So that's Kenny's deaths in this season. And that's my review of the season. As a whole, it's a good first season. The animation is a bit choppy, of course. It's a first season, and it is construction paper animation. So that you can forgive because of the way it was animated. What do you guys think of this season of South Park if you're fans? Let me know in the comments below. And join me next time, as I have a book review for you, but I shan't reveal which book it's going to be yet. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a magical time.